Hello and welcome to another pattern recognition video featuring Zwischenzug patterns, which are basically in-between moves. So if there's a sequence of moves and your opponent is expecting a normal response, you kind of throw a surprising move in there, or you hope that it'll be surprising to your opponent that they might not expect. So let's take a look at this. I'll try and do at least 10 puzzles. And for anybody that's new watching and you're not familiar with pattern recognition in chess, you basically want to solve a set of puzzles. And instead of just looking at them once and forgetting about them, it's a good idea to solve multiple times. So look at the puzzles more than once, and that way you don't forget the tactics and patterns involved, and hopefully you remember them and you're able to use them in your own games. So here, what do we have? The first thing you want to do in any position is ask yourself, what is the purpose behind your opponent's move here? If you're looking at a position like this. So what is this doing? Well, it's attacking our queen. So the opponent would think that, oh, your queen's under attack. You probably want to do something about that. But, maybe we throw a different move in. We go after their queen, and then if they try to take our queen, well, then we have time to grab this, but we also might be able to save our rook with a check first. So let's take a look at this. We go after the queen. Now they take ours, and they're thinking, well, what can we do now? We can go there, and then we grab this rook. Instead of just taking the rook immediately, then they would have been able to take our rook. So we threw that little in-between move in the sequence. Some of these can be a little tricky, so let's take a look at a few more of these. Like I said, I'll try and do 10 puzzles. Pause at any time if you want to look at the position before I give something away or give the answer away. On to puzzle number 2. Okay, the rook has moved over. It swings over, attacking our rook. Now, material-wise, we're even. And you would think the opponent probably thought, all right, we're attacking their rook. They have to deal with that. They either have to move their rook, by taking, or get out of the line of fire. Now, if we just took their rook and they go here, we'd have a passed pawn, but so would they. So maybe we throw an in-between move. Instead of immediately dealing with the attack on our rook, what if we check them first? So if we check and they take that pawn, then we could grab their rook and we'd be winning. So once we check, they're pretty much forced to go here, and then we could just attack them again with that pawn. All right, so here we go. Check, check, and now we just grab that rook, and we'll be winning easily. We can go after this pawn. Easy win. All right, on to puzzle 3. Okay, what is happening here? Well, the bishop dropped back. It's now attacking our rook here. So you would think that we need to deal with that immediately, but is there something we can do in between that we can do first? Well, and also we're attacking their rook. So their counterattack is not going to work. We attacked their rook and now they're attacking ours, but that won't work because we can throw in this first, attacking the king. And the only thing the king can do is press forward, taking the pawn, but now we can get our rook out of the line of fire and then pick off their rook. So check, check, and now we grab that rook and we'll be winning easily. All right, on to puzzle number 4. Okay, they just captured here. You would think that we probably need to just recapture. We do have a bishop pinning that rook to their queen. But let's see if we have anything else that we might want to play. Oh, wow. We do have... Oh, no, I was going to say, do we have this? Yeah, I guess we have this possibility as well. We could take that, attacking the queen. If the queen captures, well, then we can pick this off, and now we're attacking the rook, threatening a back rank mate, and we're attacking the bishop as well. So, you know, instead of just playing the normal move here, maybe that would be better. I think I'm going to go with that. Let's see. So yeah, we'll try that whole scenario because it's pretty forcing. And now what? Do we just take the queen? We'll just be ahead in material. So we might as well take that, they take, and then we grab that bishop. All right, on to puzzle number 5. Okay, knight has just captured our bishop, so you would think that we would just immediately recapture. But maybe there's some good in-between move that we haven't seen. And yes, it looks like we can just take the bishop with check there. Then we could go after the knight, but then we have to be careful because they could move their knight and pin our king, or pin the knight to the king. But I'm thinking that's the best move. If we go there, it's pretty forcing. They could block with the pawn. We could just capture that. So they'll probably move their king. And then... Yeah, I think we do that. Now the question is, you know, if we try to fork, they could move a rook over and check us. And I don't think that would work out too well for us. So, you know, do we just take the knight? They'll be able to pin our knight to our king and then attack it with their pawn. But I don't know. Is there something better? I mean, we could deliver a check. Oh, yeah, definitely want to go there. Capture that knight, deliver a check, and then go after that. So, yeah, we might as well do that. All right. Okay, hopefully you found all that. On to puzzle number 6, so we're halfway done. We just had, what, a queen capture? So the obvious move would just be to recapture our queen, or, you know, get their queen, I mean. But is there an in-between move? Yes. We could capture here first, delivering a check. Maybe we have another move. If we go there with check, they could block with the knight. The king could move. Yeah, and you don't want to just check because you can. You want to see if there's any kind of decent follow-up that'll give you an advantage. So, maybe if we take there, the king will have to move. Will he just step forward? Because if he goes to the d file, we can capture the queen with a check. So maybe we do that. Maybe we capture the pawn. The king steps forward. Then do we just... just grab the queen then? I don't know though, because we have 5 pawns, 7. They have 6. So we're ahead a pawn. We'll be ahead 2. So I don't know. It looks like we just do that first. That's what I'm thinking. But now, what is the follow-up here? Do we just go ahead and take the queen? If we do that, if the knight tries to pick this off, we can just pin it with the rook. Well, after we take the queen, we'll be over here. Do we attack the knight immediately? No, I think we need to just take here. Okay, so they've captured. Now what? We probably just take. All right, so in this position, we have what? 4, 5, 7 pawns. They have 5. I guess they want us to use our extra pawns in the end game. And we have the bishop pair versus their single light squared bishop. All right, on to puzzle number 7. Let's see what's happening here. Okay. What is the purpose behind that move? Well, I guess our bishop, or excuse me, our rook was attacking the queen. So it gets out of the line of fire from our rook, and it's also now attacking our queen, which is unprotected. So, instead of dealing with that, maybe first we check with the knight, forking the king and the rook, and then we capture the queen, and he'll have to respond to that, and then then while he's dealing with that, we can grab the rook over here with our knight. So check. Okay, now we just take and we grab that, and we're just up that extra knight. Okay, hope you're doing well with these puzzles. As always, leave comments if you have any input, if there's something you really want to see in future videos. So puzzle number 8. We were checking their king with our queen. They block with their queen. So what do we do now? Well, if we look at checks first, if we take, they'll take. Then what? I don't see any great follow-up after that. Is there a way to fork these two? If the king ends up here, we would have to have this pawn up here. Excuse me. Okay. Maybe we go there. He could just block. Oh, or we go here immediately. Right away, we fork these two pieces. So if they take our queen, first we take their knight with check, and then we get our queen back. All right, so that looks good. We go there, and then we pick off the queen. All right. Puzzle number 9. What is the purpose behind this move? Well, they developed a bishop. It's attacking our queen, but looks like we can just take that. Huh. Why would they put their bishop somewhere where we can just grab it like that? We are... Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. Their queen is covering that. I guess I was blind. I'm a little tired, so... And this is the... I don't know, I think the 5th video. Yeah, the 5th video I've done today. I'm trying to do a batch of videos at a time because I get a little bit burnt out if I do videos every day. All right. So our queen is under attack. Okay, we do have... Well, I don't know if that does anything. If we... I was thinking, we have some attack here, a discovered attack on the queen, but the bishop is protecting the queen. So what else do we have? We could go for a checkmate threat here, with the queen bishop battery. But they could attack. If they do that, we could go there and then pick off their queen here. If that bishop moves, they can't move the pawn. Oh, yeah, maybe this is the way to go. So if we go here with the queen, we're threatening a checkmate there. They can't push their pawn because our bishop is pinning that. If they move their bishop, well, then we can use our discovered attack on their queen. Okay, and sure enough, that's what they did. Now, this is the in-between move, I guess. They're attacking us, thinking, oh, we need to handle this attack on our queen. But before we move our queen out of the line of fire, we have an in-between move where we capture the pawn with check. And a lot of in-between moves will deal with a check. There'll be a check because checks are so forcing that stops everything. And the opponent has to deal with the check on their king. And then it gives you some time before you continue with your sequence of moves. All right. The final puzzle, number 10. Let's see what we have here. A pawn is just captured, attacking our queen. So the obvious move would be to deal with that, to just move our queen. But do we have some in-between move, something that's better? Let's see. What do we have? Well, one thing we could think about would be to just take the knight, because if they take, then we grab their queen. So before we go exchanging material, let's look at the material, see if we're ahead or behind. We have 6 pawns. Our opponent has 6. We both have bishop, knight, 2 rooks, and a queen. So I think material is even. So wow, it looks like, yeah, we just take their knight And if they take our queen, we get their queen. But do they have a way out of that? I don't think so. All right, I guess that's what they wanted. Okay, well, I hope you did well on these. As always, leave comments. Let me know if you got anything to say. If you have a request for anything in the future, like and subscribe to support the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching and have a super chess day.